All right, Nick, let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a team really dangerous last season, but the addition of Calvin Ridley, we believe this year, is going to make them even more dangerous. But we have a story today talking about how Ridley has come in already and set a really high bar for himself. He's impressing everybody, and I think the Jags fans are going to love this story.
Yeah, Miles, I think the impact of Calvin Ridley, I know a lot of people are really high on what he's going to do for Jacksonville. I think it's actually been understated. What he's going to do, I think, is going to take this team to a level even higher than a lot of people expect. But before we go into the report you dug up, I want to have all Jacksonville fans answer this question in the comment section below. Who is the guy right now currently on the Jaguars roster that you're looking to break out this season? A guy who maybe a rookie last season, a little quiet, a little under the radar, who you think is ready to take that next step. Give us that guy ready to break out going into a second year, or potentially could be a veteran, could be his third year, fourth year, whatever it may be. Give us your Jaguars breakout candidate in the comment section below. All right, Miles, I'll throw it back to you now. What's the latest out of Jacksonville?
Yeah, Nick, we know that Calvin Ridley was very good while he's in Atlanta, but the addition to this Jacksonville team is huge. And let's get in on to the article here, and we got a couple other things we want to bring up, some statistics that you dug up. But I want to get into this article over from NBC Sports. This says, as new Jaguars teammate Jamal Agnew sees it, Ridley will be potentially derailing the careers of defensive backs. I love how he says it that way. Just the way he moves, you can see Agnew recently told TalkSport via NFL.com. His route running, he can catch anything you throw to him. He's just different, man. You just watch him out there. He's a mismatch nightmare. In my opinion, I don't think anybody can guard him in the league. That's very high praise from Agnew, Nick. He says Ridley was already on the path after three full NFL seasons. As a first-round pick from Alabama, Ridley had 821 yards in 2018, 866 yards in 2019, as second fiddle to Julio Jones. But in 2020, with Jones missing 7 games, Ridley had his breakout season generating 1,374 yards in 15 games. Those are some pretty phenomenal numbers. Now that he's back and he's still only 28 years old, Nick, Ridley could soon pick up just where he left off, and I think he's in a better situation to do as such. I want to hear what you think about this, Nick, but before we go there, I want everyone to stay tuned to the end of the video, hear a word from our partner, and of course, that is Neuro. They have a lot of great products to give you a quick and easy boost of energy, so stay tuned to the end of the video to hear more about Neuro and to get your hands on our discount code. But Nick, go ahead. What do you think about Ridley, and what do you think about this comments about Ridley?
So I think the important thing that Agnew highlighted there was the matchup nightmare element, and that's really what the Jaguars need. And frankly, a lot of teams are looking for that guy on offense, that skill position guy that creates problems for defensive coordinators, where teams have to game plan for them and they have to adjust their entire scheme and personnel to go against that player. And that opens up opportunities for the quarterback, for a smart and accurate quarterback, which Trevor Lawrence obviously is. And adding that element of a matchup nightmare will be huge for Trevor Lawrence. And look, if you go back at Ridley's career with the Atlanta Falcons and look what he did for Matt Ryan, a smart, accurate, talented quarterback, guy's been to a Super Bowl MVP guy. He's a great quarterback throughout his career in the NFL, had a really strong career. What Ridley added to Matt Ryan in terms of his performance has kind of been shuffled under the radar a little bit. Misa, if you want to go ahead and throw up a chart I put together highlighting Matt Ryan's PFF grade with and without Calvin Ridley. And you have the 5 bars there. You have the 5 seasons. The green bars are the bars where Calvin Ridley played in the overwhelming majority of the games. That would be 2018, 2019, 2020. And 2021, Ridley missed, I think, 12 of the 17 games or 11 of the games. He missed basically the entire season. Wasn't much of a factor. Wasn't involved in game planning. Defensive coordinators didn't have to deal with him during game planning basically 2/3 of the way. And of course, 2022, he was suspended, so he was not involved in anything there. But if you look at this chart here, you look at Matt Ryan's performance via PFF with Calvin Ridley. He's outstanding. He's in the 80s. He's in the high 70s. That's Pro Bowl stuff. That's all pro stuff, even at the end of Matt Ryan's career. And then 2021, look at that massive dip, right? This is still Matt Ryan. This is Matt Ryan hasn't fallen off a cliff yet, right? He had Arthur Smith as the head coach. Arthur Smith's a smart guy with the Atlanta Falcons. With Ridley out of the fold for 2/3 of the year, look at that grade, below 65. Right? That's not even starter level. That's the impact that Ridley can have. And you can see there, based on the scale, Ridley has about a plus 10-point impact on the quarterback position in terms of PFF, looking at Matt Ryan. If you add a plus 10 PFF adjustment to Trevor Lawrence's campaign last season, Trevor Lawrence's PFF grade match would be 4th in the NFL among quarterbacks, right behind the Joe Burrows of the world. That's what I think Ridley will bring to this offense. He will elevate Trevor Lawrence because of what defensive coordinators have to do to counter Ridley to the point where he looks like Joe Burrow. He's as productive as Mahomes. He's as dynamic as Josh Allen. I think that's what we're going to see next season, Miles. That's what I look at when I see this chart. I look at what Trevor Lawrence provided. What do you think? You think Ridley can have that level of impact, or do you think a little bit less? What are your thoughts on that right there?
Yeah, I think at least that level of impact, because I think you see the addition of a guy who I would call a very solid receiver, but probably better as a number 2 in Christian Kirk. I know he's getting paid big time money, but what just that did to Trevor Lawrence, now you give him a bona fide superstar level player in Calvin Ridley, plus Christian Kirk, plus Zay Jones, who we all know was very good, and you have Evan Ingram, a dynamic threat at the tight end position. I think that this is a recipe for disaster. I love how Agnew put it. I think they're going to derail some cornerbacks' potential careers in the NFL. People are going to start retiring because this Jacksonville team is going to start eating people alive. It looks very, very interesting, Nick, because I think not only does Ridley raise Lawrence's ability, but he raises the ability of the already good receiving trio around him as well.
That's a great point.
So he probably adds a plus 10 modifier to Lawrence, but the level of play that gets raised by the other 3 receiving threats on this team may give him another 5 or 10 points as well. He could be in the top 2-3 quarterbacks in the NFL if everything goes the way that I think it should this year.
All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.